Welcome to this presentation of the single-piece process flow using FutureDial's Lean One-Touch solution. To start, let's look at the beginning of a typical shift in which you load the ports. At the beginning of an operator shift, all ports are empty. Because of this, the first hour or production will be the lowest yield. This is where the single-piece flow begins. Step 1. Retrieve the first device to be processed. Then power the device on. If this is an Android device, enable the ADB mode. If you need a SIM card for processing, insert the SIM card. And you should see the Lean One-Touch user guide document for more details on the use of SIM cards. Connect the device to the PC's port 1 on the FutureDial hub. If this is an Apple device, wait for the device to connect, and when prompted, click on Trust on the Apple device. Step 2. Retrieve the second device to be processed from the bin, and repeat Step 1. Step 3. Repeat Step 1 until all the desired ports are filled. All working ports should now be full. By the time you have connected the last device, the status indicator panel on the screen for the first port should indicate that the device is now ready for functional testing. It is okay if more than one device is ready, but for this demonstration, we will start with the first connected device and work our way through the others that are shown. From port number 1, you disconnect the device from the FutureDial hub. If this is an Apple device, go into Settings and verify the FutureDial Test app. Then launch the FutureDial Device Testing app. Complete all the prompted functional tests for the device. If you need to remove the SIM card before clearing, remove it now. Reconnect the device to the FutureDial hub port using the same data cable as before. The device will begin reading the functional test results and then will automatically begin the data clear process. Disconnect the next device only when the UI indicator panel prompts that the device is ready for performing the function test. And then you repeat the previous steps as described. By the time you finish the last port, the first device's indicator panel on the UI should show that the device has completed Lean One-Touch processing. In other words, fully tested, and it is now a data-cleared device. But don't disconnect the device just yet. Here's a tip. If you find that first device is not finishing before you're ready, and the operator has to wait, consider adding another working port. At this point, the initial shift setup is now complete. Next, we'll look at getting into the rhythm of a rolling production. At this point, the initial shift setup is complete. You will follow the rhythm shown here for the remainder of the production shift. To ensure proper flow and best device throughput time, the operator should always work in numeric consecutive order. If the operator is waiting on a device, you can skip over to the next device in sequence and pick the lagging device back up through the next sequence. Remove the first completed device from the FutureDial hub port, in which it is fully tested and data cleared. Remove any SIM card that you may have inside the device. Attach any labels you may be using, or place the device in a bag if the operation requires. Then place the device in your completed staging area. Retrieve the next device that is ahead of the Lean One-Touch station. Power the device on. If this is an Android device, enable the ADB mode. If you need a SIM card for processing, insert the SIM card. Connect the device to the PC's port 1 on the FutureDial hub. If this is an Apple device, wait for the device to connect, and when prompted, click on Trust on the Apple device. Move to the next port that is complete and repeat the previous steps. You need to repeat this step for each consecutive port. By the time the last port is completed, the first port should be ready for function testing. Disconnect the first port when ready for function testing. If this is an Apple device, go into Settings and verify the FutureDial Testing app. Then launch the FutureDial Testing app. Complete all prompted functional tests for the device. If you need to remove the SIM card before clearing, remove it now. Reconnect the device to the PC port, the same as before. The device will begin reading the functional test results and then will automatically begin the data clearing process. Disconnect the next device when the status indicator panel on the screen prompts that it is ready for function testing. Then repeat previous steps for all the remaining ports. By the time you finish the last port, the first device's status indicator panel should indicate that the device has completed Lean One Touch processing. In other words, it is fully tested and it is a data cleared device. Then repeat the previous steps for the remainder of the production shift. The following are some helpful tips or things to keep in mind. When an operator returns from lunch or break, they may find all the ports have completed Lean One Touch processing. While it is tempting to remove all the devices at the same time, the operator should resist the surge and instead follow the rhythm described earlier. If you find that operators are waiting on devices, consider adding another port. The length of tests and activity around Lean One Touch will change to the operator's time, and thus the number of optimal ports is very specific to an operation. If you find that the devices are consistently completing well before the operator works their way back around, consider reducing the number of running ports. Units per production hour, or UPPH factors, are quoted on activity only relating to the Lean One Touch process. Any extra activity the operators may be doing, such as visual inspection, cleaning, removing labels, etc., will affect or lower their actual UPPH.